Hey Kiril, thank you for your long video. Um, I think I'll try to um, elaborate more about my my situation. I just use a blade, a razor blade to shave my head. Um,
Fuck you, Sammy! Hey! Fuck you! Ah! Yeah!
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Millennial.
Hey, actually, what I'm doing, I'm not really on a fixed path per se, and it has nothing to do with uh, Buddhism, uh, as in the form in China or in Tibet. It's more the original teaching, supposedly original, which is supposedly practiced in countries like Thailand, Sri Lanka, Burma, that region. Um, I think I've always been depressed. I've been depressed since I was 12, and and things haven't gotten better. I'm still depressed, but just for completely different reasons. I'm disappointed in my inability to find a pleasure that is not of the flesh. I even though my lux has been substantially lower than, let's say, 10 years ago, I'm still a very lustful person. um, I'm what you would call a trick, right? You know what a trick is, right? So I do it regularly, um, because it's just I think it's all they deserve. It's a bit of money. That's all. I don't think they deserve my energy. Unfortunately, I still need to waste my time on them, on women, um, and I think the right now the practice of meditation for me is to get into a concentrated uh, enough state, a mental state that I'm going to feel calm, and then the calm will lead to a sort of rapture. Is another rapture is supposed to lead to pleasure, both physically and mentally, and that form of pleasure would be so sublime that no fleshly pleasure can compare, because there is no drawback. Because any sort of pleasure you get using this body, a flesh body, is going to have drawbacks. um, so yeah, I'm disappointed in myself, but um, yeah, as to whether I'm on a fixed path, even though I went through the scriptures, um, the Buddha did give a path. Is the eightfold noble path, but I I'm not able to practice it fully, and I don't know whether it's true or not. I've just tried some aspects of it, and I have never found anything that didn't work uh, when it comes to the path. The Buddha said, but I think I'm still mentally weak, and I haven't been able to exert myself enough. Um, so I don't know, and with my disgust with just people in general, I really don't have much worldly ambition. Actually, talking about um, Tibetan Buddhism, actually the form of Buddhism in places like China, Japan and Korea is kind of like Christianity. Um, when you look at the teachings, Tibetan Buddhism is kind of take that plus occultism. So it's like a combination of Christianity and occultism, because there's a lot of visualization and mantra and initiations and secret teachings. Um, it also has an element of Hinduism in it. When you look at um, deities that they visualize and worship. Um, but but in the original teaching of the Buddha, there's nothing to worship, not even the Buddha himself. It's just people later on they turn Buddha into some sort of a god, um, which he never claimed to be. Um, as to your I don't believe in anything, and I'm not here to convert anybody to what I don't believe in anything. What even though some things I know is true, I'm not gonna convert people into believing them. I'm just gonna tell people to try. Like whatever you want to do, just do it, and then you get your answers. Um, oh, what do I want to say? Um, yeah, as to your wish, as in what you are gonna be after you pass. Um, I think it's all good. I think it's um, I mean I can see why you would want to be what you want to be after you have passed, and I think I hope in your current lifetime you are going to some way somehow whether through your good karma or your spiritual practice, because meditation and any sort of spiritual practice is kind of a way to fabricate your karma, right? If it's not possible to fabricate your karma, then liberation, any sort of liberation, enlightenment would be impossible. I hope in your current lifetime you are going to some way somehow know for sure, not just in your imagination. So beyond conceptual understanding, that you are going to know what what you will become after you have passed. Um, and I forgot what you were saying towards the end of your video, but yeah, let me try to remember. Ah, oh my goodness. I I think I'll stop here. I can't remember anything. Again, thank you for making such a long response. I don't know why I like even just talking to the camera and talking to you. I I feel better. Um, not that I think it means much because it's temporary. I'm still gonna go through the same shit every day. Unless there's some sort of breakthrough in in meditation. Okay, I'll stop here.
do. Same thing, and it's like easier to apply, it's easier to sand. What type of a guy are you gonna be? Like if you look at the 8 immortals as like 8 different paths, and
Massive day. Sega.
If 2006 was a tough time for Relic, busily developing 2 or 3 different projects at once, then 2011 must have been apocalyptic. Due to the financial burden on their publisher, THQ, it's rumoured that Relic was receiving budget cuts, and I wouldn't be surprised if the studio was being forced to wrap up what they had to release before the company went under. Yet Dawn of War 2 held so much more potential. There was always more of Warhammer to explore and add to the game, especially when Dawn of War 1 had set this precedent so thoroughly. But the inevitable would still happen. Dawn of War 2 would see its third installment in March of 2011, adding the Imperial Guard as a playable race alongside new maps and units, a campaign for all 6 races, and concluding the plot of the series. This was the version of Dawn of War 2 I started with. I remember finding this in a game for £20 in 2011, and found it crazy that a collector's edition would ever go for that low so close to release. But perhaps that was a sign of something. There were big plans for this game off the back of Chaos Rising, and could Relic deliver upon them now? Would this be a Dark Crusade, or a Soulstorm? Wait a second, I don't see a single GameSpy or Games for Windows Live logo on this box. Never mind, this is now the best game in the series. Thank you for watching, subscribe for Avatars React. It's been 10 years since the events of Chaos Rising, and Subsector Aurelia is a complete shitshow. Chaos reigns both figuratively and literally, as the Space Marines' fight to maintain order continues to be sabotaged from within. The Retribution Institution has been disbanded, unfortunate timing given the name of this game, with Vanilla Ice being possibly dead, possibly exiled, but definitely not present, while the rest of its members are either continuing the fight or have since gone missing. We actually start off the campaign showing Gabriel, Angelos, and Jonah Orion facing off against the final antagonist of Dawn of War 1, who has been free to torment the Blood Ravens ever since its prison was destroyed in the first game. Yeah, this whole thing is kind of Gabriel's fault, but in his defense, when you give a guy a holy hammer, everything starts to look like a blasphemous nail. The Imperium of Man keeps throwing soldiers at the problem, hoping that'll fix it, but since Chaos is always offering them a better time, the Imperial Inquisition has decided the easiest solution to the whole thing is to blow it the fuck up. An exterminatus has been called, bombing each planet from orbit until nothing can feasibly survive. But an opportunity to prevent this arrives in the form of Inquisitor Adrastia, who has been tipped off by Gabriel that someone called Kyrus is behind the demonic incursions across Aurelia. Kyrus is the head honcho of the Blood Ravens and is in a perfect position to misdirect the Space Marines and pit them against each other, which would have let chaos spread across Aurelia unopposed, so Adrastia is assembling a team to confirm this claim and call off the Exterminatus. Joining her is Lord General Castor, equipped with an incredible moustache and infinite boxes of men, as well as Sergeant Merrick, a recurring character from the last 2 games who may be the toughest son of a bitch in the galaxy after what he's been through. But she won't be the only new arrival to the subsector, as legendary pirate captain and overall best boy Captain Bloodflag crash lands on Typhon, and Adrastia attempts to hire him to kill Kyrus.
Suddenly not green skin.
With his hat stand sadly empty, Bloodflag learns Exterminatus is bad for business and goes to give Kyrus a beatdown anyway, because he does what he wants because a pirate is free and he is a pirate.
Meanwhile,
Everyone's favourite elusive space elves have their own interests to maintain in the sector, hoping to save thousands of sleeping Eldar souls buried under Typhon, and going for Kyrus once they hear of the Inquisition's intentions. After getting torn apart by Vanilla Ice and crew, the liquefied remains of Eliphas are scooped out of the warp and poured into a suit of Terminator armor so he can continue to be a pain in the ass for the Blood Ravens, being personally directed by Abaddon the Despoiler to give Kyrus a big old slap. Just for context, Abaddon is one of the big characters in Warhammer, while the Blood Ravens aren't important to the wider setting at all, so why does he care? At this point in the Warhammer timeline, this would be like if Darth Vader got to the end of Empire Strikes Back and said, you know what? I fucking hate these random Wookiees. Boba Fett, go beat their ass for me. Kyrus is quickly gaining enemies, but he does have one person on his side, the captain of his honor guard, Apollo Diomedes. In Chaos Rising, this guy's head was so far up his own arse that his helmet is probably stuck up there now. It takes Adrastea threatening to excommunicate the Blood Ravens entirely to make Diomedes even consider investigating Kyrus. And even then, he's always giving him the benefit of the doubt. Cyrus and Martellus deserve Terminator honors for putting up with this for 10 years. It may sound like this game's story would be like Winter Assault, several factions after the same prize trying to get there before the others can stop them. Or maybe unlikely alliances will be formed to obtain a mutual goal. But this sadly isn't the case. Adrastea is involved in several campaigns, but none of their characters appear in her own, and the only time there is ever any overlap is for a boss fight in the first mission. There isn't any kind of import system like Chaos Rising had either, meaning your choices in that game never end up affecting the narrative, and we're left with no closure for your player character. None of this leaves a great first impression, especially when the opening cutscenes chug like a tank engine, but perhaps we shouldn't judge a book so thoroughly by its cover. Oh hey, it does look like a real book. Oh, and it's got pages to read, oh. Well, it's a better story than the Tyranid campaign. It's worth noting that Retribution makes some pretty big overhauls to how Dawn of War 2's campaign plays. The small 4-squad strike team setup worked great for the Space Marines, where a dozen of them can typically face small armies in the canon, but if the Imperial Guard had the same numbers, they wouldn't get very far. So the first major change is that you can now deploy units from skirmish mode during the campaign, be that swarms of infantry or General Castor dropping tanks on his enemies. You can even swap your heroes out with Honor Guard, buffing your army to increase your unit capacity, and I gotta tell you can never do this in Chaos Rising, so score 1 to Retribution. Rather than finding pickups in the map to replenish your unit's war gear, you'll find resources like in Skirmish as well, although you'll never need to worry about the AI backcapping your points. Units are even factored into your rewards for missions, offering a trade-off between a piece of war gear for your heroes or a unit which can fill a niche they can't. It's still viable to complete missions with just your hero units, but they definitely get the short end of the stick here. Loot drops feel a whole lot rarer now, with only 10 levels of progression and a very basic skill tree. Chaos Rising had only 10 levels as well, but it was on top of Dawn of War 2's previous 20, and while a few abilities get kinda crazy, it's not the power fantasy that it used to be. To its credit, I did find it more viable to mix and match abilities from different trees here, whereas I always felt I needed to max out the most obvious stats for each character before. But it's from the heroes and their attached storyline that the appeal of the campaign really stems from, so I want to go through every race's campaign one by one and share my thoughts on each. The first campaign I played for this review was Chaos, the only one I hadn't previously seen. This one really amused me. It's just Eliphas desperately trying to get out of Abaddon's service while Nerov threatens to tell Daddy on him if he can't find Kyrus. It feels like I'm breaking the game apart with these guys, whether that be Nerov's Doombolt, Eliphas sprouting mountains out the ground, or Kain becoming a one-man Death Star. And it's funny to hear Eliphas and Nerov bicker like an old married couple. Next up is the Eldar campaign, which I won't lie, I was dreading revisiting, as I remember it being one of the biggest victims of this game recycling its missions. You're mostly fighting Chaos, Orcs and Renegade Guardsmen during Retribution's campaign, but there are 2 instances of you fighting Eldar, which is very weird if you know anything about the faction. The first one gives an excuse, but the second, I really can't fathom why they'd attack other Eldar or why your characters go along with it.
You dare violate this tomb, you pathetic, soulless savages!
Rude.
Sisters, we do not come here to desecrate the craft world. We are in dire need of God. Was that a fucking Bright Lance cannon? Can you stop shooting me for 1 second and let me speak?
Ronan, you have to prevent this now. The Infinity Circuit is broken. They will be fed straight to She Who Thirsts if even a single life is taken. You must think clearly.
It'll look freaking sweet in your montage, bro.
Despite that, this campaign was a surprise hit for me. Caliph and Ronan ended up being a lot of fun to use, and their storyline constantly develops as we learn more about the characters and the Dark Crusade-shaped hole that's been left in their lives. Then there's the newcomers, the Imperial Guard. Out of all the Dawn of War generals, Castor is easily the closest depiction to a guard officer in canon. He speaks like he's been pulled straight out of the First World War and has the enjoyable jingo of a big game hunter. Adrastea is a refreshing take on an Inquisitor, commending Merrick for keeping it together for so long while expressing legitimate fear when Kyrus finally speaks to them, while Merrick takes the term walk softly and carry a big gun very much to heart. The dynamic between the three leads to one of my favourite scenes across all the games, even if the story misses a beat with Commissar Freeman over here. Yeah, if you want a sign of the budget cuts at play, every campaign has at least one character who has no dialogue at all, and the fact that the Guards one is their Commissar Lord cracks me up.
Equip bayonets! Draw their fire and we shall cut them down!
What? There is one key exception to this, however, and of all the factions to have a fully voiced cast, the Orcs were not my first guess. They easily have the most entertaining dialogue in the game and are a joy to play. Whether that be Nailbrain turning entire units to dust, or Blood Flag jumping around summoning random scallywags. I'm just gonna say it, this is my favourite of all the campaigns by far. Blood Flag is the best war boss since Gorgut, and I love that he goes so far out of his way to kill Kyrus, just so he can have an Inquisitor's hat. I can't say he gets to do much piracy though. Maybe he's a different kind of pirate. I can certainly see Nailbrain cracking software and DDoSing a nearby craft world. Adrastea should have just given them a computer and let them find Kyrus that way.
Mr. Nailbrain, leak his IP address!
Then of course is the Space Marine campaign, which I have to be honest, maybe one of my least favourite. Maybe it's marine fatigue from the last two games, but slipping back into the Bloodraven's mighty boots is where the changes to Retribution's campaign are most apparent. This skill tree is such a downgrade when I can recognise abilities from the last games, and while making a whole army of Terminators is funny, there's nothing quite like putting your favourites in their own suits to make them truly busted. I didn't care for them initially, but Thaddeus and Avitus ended up being my favourite characters across Dawn of War 2's story. Not only do they both so happen to be the only Marines that don't return, but the extra dialogue
Maybe there's
that made me grow to like them is utterly absent. But this isn't to say there's nothing to be gained here. I really enjoy the character arc for Diomedes. He goes from constant
In a Knockouts World Tag Team Champion and a Dade from the inside out and level this. Sit out power. The job.
Control your fate.
Those. Maybe not John Cruz.
Maybe
the other
not
two,
John
for
Cruz.
sure, though.
This match is set for one fall with a 60-minute time limit, and it is for the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Wrestling Championship. Introducing first, the challenger, wrestling out of Windsor, Ontario, Canada. She is the MLP Women's Canadian Champion, Giselle Shaw.
Shaw won a tournament to become the inaugural champion. It was also on an MLP card that she
raising the bar. I'm a boss and I always win. Everything done is a perfect 10. So when it comes to the bar, it's higher than it's ever been. Raising the bar. So high can you come this far? Raising the bar. Raising the bar.
Knowing each other inside and out. Giselle Shaw made history becoming the inaugural MLP Women's Canadian Champion, facing the inaugural Women's Pure Rules Champion.
Yourself, describe the difference in atmosphere between the UK crowds and of course here in the States.
So the UK scene, fans, they're incredible. I think it's because they have that, that football, soccer background. So they take that into the wrestling.
Right.
And they sing your name. And when I first got there, it was, I noticed that immediately. And I go, oh, that's how you know if they hate you or love you. And that was one of my goals. And then when they started, singing my name, I was like, man, like I have made it. Like, this is so cool. Here in North America, it's very different. They're very vocal.
So yourself, describe the difference in atmosphere between the UK crowds and of course here in the States.
It's not unfair to say that Dawn of War 2's
Pucker up. I'm like a bird. Oh my god. I'm off screen.
Alright, press it up. Okay, so I'm gonna say action. When I say action, you're gonna say your line.
Okay.
And then you're gonna be smiling. Okay. Here we go. Action.
You were supposed to kiss me.
Okay, let's do it again.
Do you remember stuff?
Some of it. I mean, so if I was weird, that's...
The secret behind Obsession Craziest Scenes revealed.
No, don't do that!
For the scene where Indy has to wet herself, the crew rigged up a medical dropper above her head that connected to her shorts.
Squint, there we go. All right, here we go. This is considered rolling now.
For the scene where Indy has to wet herself, the crew rigged up a medical dropper above her head that connected to her shorts.
Squint. There we go. All right, here we go. This is considered rolling now. Hold it.
When Nikki smashes the car window with her head,
I have to smash my head through a window.
they actually used a soft, jelly-like material for the glass pieces so it wouldn't hurt. And for that wild head-smashing moment, they brought in a super realistic dummy to pull it off.
Nothing crazy is gonna happen.
The secret behind Obsession Craziest Scenes revealed.
I was to your left. I was to your left. You were supposed to kiss me.
I'm not playing this stupid game, okay? Pineapples on it. But I do like pizza. I'm not playing this stupid game, okay? Pineapples on it.
Can you tell the court what that was? A battery. Mr. Chairman, you recognize him? Back his name is Hugh Babineau. He's on our witness list. You bumped into him in the stairway. He'll testify he planted this fully charged battery on you over an hour and a half ago. An hour and 43 minutes. An hour and 43 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Babineau. And you felt nothing. No, it's a trick. It has to is enough. I submit that Mr. McGill's mental illness is a non-issue. If he was schizophrenic, it wouldn't take away from the fact that the defendant... I am not crazy! I am not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. I knew it was 12-6.
Let me tell you about a young guy. He was the man. He lived a long way from here, in a town called Illinois. When he strolled down the street, all the finest babes would hope that he would get murdered. He was the man. They called him Slimmy.
Who are you? Why are you me? I was running a scam on you. That was the plan.
Have a great time.
Yo, where you going? Oh, wait, can I say something? I don't deserve to die, but they deserve to die. They're insects. They don't deserve legs.
Break their legs. Agreed. It's not enough.
Turn them inside out.
Colombian neckties.
People don't change. You're Slimmy. I worked my ass off to get where I am. And you suck these nuts and suddenly you're my horse? What a joke.
I thought you were proud of me.
I'm game.
Wait, geez. Hamlin, McGill. More like screw you.
Jimmy.
You take me? You piece of shit! Oh, my dick used to work on sis! I don't know what to do! No wonder we're in a what? No wonder in a what? Here we go! Is this it? Is this it? Is this? Chuck! Chuck! Jimmy! That's enough! You need to step away.
You've been accused of fourth-degree felony breaking and entering, which carries a maximum $5 fine, petty misdemeanor assault, maximum $6 fine, plus criminal damage to property with a max $4 fine.
Could you state your name? Charles L. McGill?
Objection.
Sustained. We just need to hear what happened, Mr. McGill.
Mr. McGill, I'll try to be brief. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Objection.
Sustained. We just need to hear what happened, Mr. McGill.
Objection.
Sustained. You've taken all the leeway you're getting, Mr. McGill. Wrap it up fast.
Can we talk about your disease for a moment?
It is sometimes referred to as EHS.
It's not a condition, is it?
30 years ago, no one had heard of peanut allergy.
You do sound somewhat unhinged. Would you say that you're in possession of your faculties?
I'm perfectly lucid.
Do you have any evidence to support that you're in possession of your faculties? Thank you. Mr. McGill, I have only one more question for
Objection.
you. The State Bar rests.
I don't really care if you cry. I don't really shouldn't have a lie. Should've saw the way she looked me in my eyes. She said, baby, I am not afraid to die. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. I don't really care if you cry. I don't really shouldn't have a lie. Should've saw the way she looked me in my eyes. She said, baby, I am not afraid to die.
Sega.
I am Gabriel Angelos, captain of the Blood Ravens. My chapter is in ruins. The sector is at war. Its worlds under siege. Chaos spreads, consumes us all. Here we will make our final stand. Here there will be retribution. Ten years ago, we Blood Ravens destroyed the demon Alcair, ending his schemes to rot Subsector Aurelia into a festering hellscape. We thought our victory would mark the end of the war for the sector. We were wrong. New demonic incursions relentlessly plagued her planets, Aurelia, Typhon, Calderis, and Meridian. In response, the Imperial Guard, the hammer of the Emperor, was deployed en masse to the sector to secure her, to defend her. Yet the incursions only grew in number, and soon were worsened by insurrection and madness among the Guard's ranks. Now the sector sits helpless, racked by constant, endless, unremitting war. We are Space Marines. We are the Blood Ravens. We would act, yet we too are locked in warfare with one another. Azariah Kairos, our chapter master and chief librarian, has declared the heroes of Aurelia to be renegades. Now we are hunted by our own brothers, brothers unaware of the chapter master's secret allegiance to Alcair. A corrupt Space Marine chapter master, a militia crippled by disorder and turmoil, demons, renegades, a sector that knows only war. The Imperium has had enough. One solution remains for the sector, a solution with which I am all too familiar. The Ordo Malleus approaches, the Holy Imperial Inquisition. Their colossal ships bear the munitions to perform exterminatus, cleansing every planet of the sector of life, Xenos and human, corrupt and innocent. But even now, an enemy once thought long vanquished is stirring. The worlds of Subsector Aurelia still bear the scars of the Tyranid invasion. The Hive fleet was thought to be shattered, and the surviving beasts to be feral and unguided. And so they have been left to lurk in the dark corners of our worlds. As the Tyranid infection has recovered and grown, the Hive mind has called to its lost children. A Hive Lord has awakened. It will answer the call. It will make clear the way, and it will prepare the feast.
We should have scoured this world of these things years ago. Now look at this mess. But far be it from me to question our great and wise leaders.
I will pretend I didn't hear that, trooper. Speak like that around the commissar and see what happens. I was there when the Blood Ravens killed the Hive fleet. If you're on your guard, these Tyranids are no more dangerous than Meridian Razor slugs. Look! Ahead! What is that?
Look at the size of that one. Quickly, bring it down! using cover? I thought they were supposed to be dumb beasts! Damn, Ned! The Hormagauts close in, clawing your face off. Meanwhile, the Termagants sit back and shoot you to death.
These are the worst Chaos Gods to follow in Warhammer 40k. Number 5, Nurgle. If you have to sell your soul to a dark god, at least pick the one who loves you back, even if the love is a chemical lie and you're rotting while you feel it. Nurgle is the Chaos God of disease, decay, and despair. The Chaos Gods are dark entities that live inside the warp, an alternate dimension that runs parallel to reality. Each one feeds on a specific set of emotions. Nurgle feeds on fear.
You see that clicking clack sound?
One in Pantheon
Oi!
that genuinely
Gremlin's
delivers
coming!
promises.
Wah!
He will make you stop being afraid. Followers of Nurgle are happy, genuinely happy. Like Marines, genetically engineered superhuman soldiers called Space Marines, who have been corrupted by Nurgle, walk around armor fused to their body flesh, organs hanging out, loaded with disease, and fine, better than fine. Nurgle's first gift is immediate pain. The second gift is immediate fear of death. Once those two can live on, we're stuck with a kind of grotesque enemy. The death guard of Nurgle's religion is stoic, almost sarcastic unity. And hierarchy, grudges, and sense of purpose. The purpose is spreading pride across the galaxy, but it's still purpose. The catch is that the happiness is in wars. It's Nurgle. There are counts of Plague Marines who have those differences from them. They instantly perceive themselves as walking corpses, suffered the way they should have been suffering all along, and died in war. The contentment is a sentient aesthetic pumped into your soul by a god who's smiling when you fall. Your personality dissolves over millennia into an extension of grandfather's living. Here's the thing. The one emotion that can protect you from despair is the first thing Nurgle removes. Number 4. Khorne. Khorne is the chaos god of war, blood, and rage. The sales pitch is 8 words long. Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. That's the whole contract. Kill things, collect skulls, get rewarded with more ability to kill things. No fine print, no hidden clauses, no manipulation. Khorne is the most transparent employer in the war. What you get is a life of perpetual violence. Khorne's followers, particularly the World Eaters, a traitor Space Marine Legion devoted to him, submit to the Butcher's Nails, cybernetic brain implants that rewire the nervous system so only rage produces neurochemical pleasure. Everything else, including breathing, thinking, and existing, causes pain. The only relief is killing. Between battles, you're in agony. During battle, you're a screaming berserker who will turn on your own allies if no enemies remain. Karn the Betrayer earned his name at the Battle of Skalathrax. Both the World Eaters and a rival legion had agreed to a ceasefire because the freezing night would kill even Space Marines. Karn saw this as cowardice, grabbed a flamer, and punched his own legion's shelters. Then he killed everyone, World Eaters and enemies alike, until dawn. Khorne doesn't lie to you. He doesn't scheme against you. He simply does not see you as a person. He sees blood. Your identity is irrelevant. Your name doesn't matter. Only the kill tally counts. If you impress him enough, you might ascend to Demon Prince, an immortal warp entity of immense power. If you don't, you'll probably become a Chaos Spawn, a mindless mutant blob of flesh that used to be a warrior. Most Khornate champions who seek ascension end up as Spawn. The success rate is abysmal, and Khorne doesn't warn them. He doesn't even notice. Another skull on the pile, another body for the furnace. But at least the deal was honest. Khorne promised violence and delivered violence. No betrayal, just indifference. He's the only god who doesn't pretend to care about you, which, paradoxically, makes him one of the more trustworthy options. Your existence is hell, but it's the hell you signed up for. Number 3. Slaanesh. Slaanesh is the chaos god of excess, sensation, and perfection. Unlike Khorne's blunt edge, Slaanesh is artist, perfectionist, beauty obsessive, swordsman, and promise is mastery. You will experience life more deeply than anyone else. You will perfect your craft. You will be desired and admired. Your followers think they're signing up for more life. And initially, that's exactly what they get. Yep. Leaders face go to this Slaanesh and their nervous system is wired by the style, so that pain routes into the brain's pleasure centers. Every battle can be exercise, sensation amplified past anything a normal body could process. For a while, it's genuinely incredible. Then the burnout starts. What was once pleasurable becomes mundane. The baseline shifts. A Marine who's been at this for a few decades needs something extreme just to feel alive. And to watch a planet die to register anything at all. The endpoint is the noise. The warrior is so far gone that his entire personality can be replaced by different sonic stimulation. The weapons fire weaponized sound loud enough to liquefy flesh, and they only feel normal when firing them. Slaanesh's destruction is internal. Khorne breaks your body. Slaanesh hollows out your identity from the inside. You watch yourself disappear and interpret the disappearance as growth. The Mask, a demon who was once Slaanesh's favorite dancer, was cast out and cursed to dance forever on a whim, which tells you exactly how much your service is worth. And Lucius, the Eternal, Slaanesh's champion swordsman, cannot die. Anyone who kills him and feels even slight satisfaction, is slowly transformed into Lucius's new body, their consciousness trapped forever as a screaming face on his armor. He's been through countless bodies. He can't remember how many times he's died or account for vast stretches of time. That's the reward for being Slaanesh's favorite. Number 2, Tzeentch. Tzeentch is the chaos god of change, sorcery, and fate. He recruits scholars, sorcerers, politicians, revolutionaries, and anyone who thinks they're clever enough to play a god. The picture's flattery, knowledge, power over destiny, the ability to reshape reality through psychic mastery. You're setting up to be the smartest person in the room. The problem is that the room was designed by Tzeentch, and so are you. Every follower of Tzeentch is a pawn. Every plan they make was already on his whiteboard. Every act of resistance is part of the script. The Thousand Sons, a traitor space marine legion of powerful sorcerers devoted to Tzeentch, are the case study. Their Primarch Magnus the Red, that's the genetically engineered demigod who founded and led the Legion, made 4 separate bargains with Tzeentch across his lifetime. The first to deal with Tzeentch's life change is the execution of his life. The second to warn the Emperor's about the Emperor's heresy, analysis plays on a war which shattered the Emperor's project. Destruction, which found them more protected his flesh. Before he was an every deal advanced Tzeentch's design. Every deal wrecked Magnus. And there's the movement of Ahriman, the Thousand Sons chief librarian, their most senior psychic warrior, cast a massive spell to seek brothers from the flesh change. It worked, sort of. Every non-psychic marine in the Legion was reduced to dust, trapped inside their armor, animated as soulless automatons by surviving sorcerer's will. Thousands of warriors turned into empty shells by a spell cast out of love, and the strong reading of canon is that saved our because Ahriman was the mark of Tzeentch grants psychic powers, which sounds great until you realize that psychic is closer to the threshold of your flesh, and you can't shape anymore, you collapse into the spot. The gift called the changing of ways that Tzeentch replace all your existing things, you move on to that work. He can reset you like a save file. Number 1, Chaos Undivided. And the absolute worst option, don't pick that god, try to worship all 4 at once. Chaos Undivided is the path of worshipping chaos as a pantheon rather than pledging to a single patron. The sales pitch is autonomy, power without ownership, access to gifts left born, Nurgle, Tzeentch, and Slaanesh without being any other god's property. It's the path chosen by Lorgar, the Primarch who started the Horus Heresy, and by Abaddon the Despoiler, the current War Master of Chaos, who has led 13 Black Crusades, massive military campaigns against the Imperium over the last 1.5 years. The problem is structure. When you follow one god, that god is or shields on by God's message. Since the reset magnets of reptile rather than so that the reincarnation is rather than losing. Hatred invests in their survival because you belong to them. When you follow all 4, none of them can you, and none of them will spend power to save you. All 4 gods do an undivided follow of the same path. The same gifts can tip the balance and blame you for themselves. Those gifts come from 4 incompatible sources. Your orbit split into the 4-way faction of people. Donate servers to includes force to each other before the enemy arrives, and when rotations exceed your body's tolerance and your battle collapse into a chaos bond, no single god is best known not to. The 2 greatest undivided champions in history are themselves cautionary tales. Be'lakor was the first demon prince ever created, elevated by all 4 gods acting together. When the gods couldn't agree on being ultimate, they cursed him. He's now the eternal second-place herald, forced to crown every great champion, but never become one himself. Consumed by jealousy for 10,000 years. Then there's Horus, the most powerful undivided champion who ever lived, War Master of the entire rebellion against the Imperium. He didn't even get to ascend. The Emperor obliterated his soul entirely. Not killed, obliterated. The consciousness is gone. The most successful follower of Chaos Undivided was the way to existence before the gods could even decide what to do with it. The only stable, undivided champions are Lorgar. All 4 gods and Abaddon survives with no power entirely because he's watched what he did. I watched him decide that becoming the gods back with power. Abaddon explicitly calls demons slaves. Might be right. Chaos Undivided ranks worse because you don't have the absence of a dividing feature. Every other god will betray you in their own specific way. But at least they'll keep you alive long enough to be betrayed. Undivided won't even guarantee you that much. Well, that's the list. 5 ways to sell your soul in the 41st millennium, ranked by how badly you get screwed. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, even the gods offering you power are running a scam.
Reinforcement underway.
What in the name of terror? Are we too late? Xenos filth! Come to me now! Underestimated you? No more. I will end the blasphemy of your existence here and now. Be the end. These creatures are not simple beasts. I've commanded men for a century, achieved so much glory. Not like this.
General Castor's forces were the first to fall to this new swarm, but they were not the last. Within hours, millions of Tyranids burst from the jungle. Within days, every outpost was under attack. Instinctively, the Hive Lord was drawn to where resistance was strongest. Soon, Typhon would fall.